Welcome, everybody, to my weekly Thursday live stream. I am coming at you across all platforms, man. I am on the X, I am on Twitch, and I am coming to you on YouTube. I am live. And I have been doing this the last couple of Thursdays, and it seems to be really popular. And let me tell you why it seems to be really popular. Because I think at this point, everybody knows and understands that Vince Russo has no longing or no desire to ever work in the professional wrestling business again. As I stated last week, I am in the Vince Russo business. Vince Russo is my brand. I represent myself. Therefore, when I come on here and I do one of these live streams, I'm not looking for a job. I'm not looking to be hired by AEW. I'm not looking to be hired by the WWE. So I am going to tell you it like it is. And I am going to tell you it in a way that many others in the industry would tell you, but they can't, because they're either employed by one of these companies or they are seeking employment with one of these companies. Therefore, they are not going to tell you how they really feel. Well, I am here to tell you how I really feel. And I come on here every week, and no, I did not beg TNA for a job. I said if TNA really wanted to go back to the roots and really wanted to go back to TNA, then they would speak to those who were a part of the company from the jump. That is what I said, and I have said a million times before. If there is any wrestling company out there that wants to pay me a consulting fee to tell them why they no longer draw ratings, I would be more than happy to consult for any wrestling company, because as a consultant, I work for myself. I don't work for them. I work for myself, and they are acquiring my services as a consultant. If you can't figure out the difference between being a consultant and being a full-time employee, then you are an absolute moron, and I cannot help you. So let me go on with the program, man. I come on here, I don't know what I'm going to say. I know what's on my mind. I don't have a script. I don't have a format. I just kind of free form of what I want to say. And I got to tell you, man, last night, the number one show in podcasting, Castrating the Marks, that you can listen to on russosbrand.com every week, we were pushed behind a little bit because of technical difficulties. So it just happened to be around the time that Dynamite was on. Now, when I reached my 60th birthday, it's going to be 3 years in January. When I reached my 60th birthday, I made the statement, I am no longer going to watch professional wrestling unless you pay me to watch professional wrestling, because it is not worth my time. Watching wrestling is not how I want to spend my time unless you pay me. That is the reason why I watch Raw, because I get paid very well by Sportskeeda. But I have not watched AEW in almost 3 years. So I put it on last night because I had time to kill, to be honest with you. And I watched AEW for about 30 seconds. And I came to the conclusion that the only people that are going to watch AEW are the people that are already watching it. When I look at that crowd and I look at that audience, those are the only people that are ever going to watch AEW. AEW is never going to grow its audience. They started at a 1.4 about 4 years ago, and they've never topped that number. And they will never, ever, ever garner a casual fan audience with their presentation of the product. Never. So the people watching AEW are the only people that are going to watch AEW. And quite frankly, the same goes for the WWE. The only people watching WWE currently are the only people that are going to watch WWE. In the present format, they are not going to cultivate any new wrestling fans, any casual fans. And I'm on here today to explain to you why. I will explain to you why, and it's real simple. You know, guys, I can go back to when I first started watching wrestling. It was probably 71, 72, 73, somewhere around there. Bruno Sammartino was the champion, selling out Madison Square Garden every month. And when I watched wrestling as a 12, 13-year-old boy, even though I knew what it was, I knew that it was a show, I knew that it was a work, there were professionals in the ring that were working me. In other words, the Bruno Sammartinos, the Ernie Ladds, the Valiant Brothers, the Chief J Strongbows, they were working me into enabling me to suspend my disbelief and really believe that what I was watching was actually real. And how they do that is they draw you into it. And what you're watching is very believable and very logical, and it all makes sense. And there's heat, and there's, you know, baby faces fighting from underneath. And there was a story, and you believed it. You knew it was a work, but they were so good at their craft. They sucked you into believing this was a real fight. Guys, I can remember I was in my 20s, bro, when WrestleMania 3 came around. And I remember watching the Steamboat Savage match of WrestleMania 3. And I remember, man, right after WrestleMania 3, Savage and Steamboat were going around the circuit. And they were going to have a steel cage match at Madison Square Garden, bro. I'm in my 20s, bro. And I bought tickets for my father and I because I wanted to see the WrestleMania follow-up. Again, I am looking at professionals, whereas I know this is a work, I know this is choreographed, but they are so great at their craft that once you start watching it, bro, they suck you into it, man. And for those minutes or that hour, they are suspending your disbelief because the work is believable. The work is believable. Do you understand what I'm saying? The work, they're workers. The wrestlers are working together. The work is believable. And that was throughout the WrestleMania years, throughout the Hogan years, bro, throughout the Attitude Era, bro, throughout the NWO, throughout the Monday Night Wars. Your suspension of disbelief, bro, because you were watching pros and they understood one thing. They are supposed to make you believe, bro. That is their job. Every match, every promo, they are supposed to make the audience believe. They are supposed to suck in the audience. And these men and these women were so great at their craft that that's what they did, bro. They made you believe because as a fan watching, you wanted to believe. You wanted to believe. And as a casual fan, you knew, man, yeah, if I was involved in a real fight, I would do that. If I was involved in a real fight, I would do this. If I really hated somebody, I would say that. You bought into it, bro. Hook, line, and sinker. And you didn't have to be a wrestling mark. Casual wrestling fans, television viewers bought into this because wrestlers were workers and wrestlers were pros. Well, I'm going to go back to last night when I put on Dynamite for 30 minutes. And I'm sitting there and I don't believe one damn thing that I am looking at. Not one damn thing. Nobody's trying to win. There is no logic in anything that they do. Nobody is trying to win their fight. And it is clear to me that everybody is just trying to get their shit in. And that's exactly what it looks like. WWE, AEW, everybody just trying to get their shit in. Absolutely zero logic. Doesn't look like anybody wants to win. The moves are unbelievable. Nobody would ever attempt that type of moves if it were a real fight. The moves that the majority of these performance artists are attempting to do, quite frankly, they are putting themselves in just as much danger as their opponent. So as a casual fan looking at this, none of this makes sense. None of this is believable. It is all fake. It is all bullshit. Therefore, I am not watching. And that's today's style of professional wrestling. And when this craze started, it's a great time to be a wrestling fan. When all this bullshit started, I was the first one to say, you know what? Change the name. If this is the type of style you are going to do, change the name. This is not pro wrestling. This is not professional wrestling. Professional wrestling was clearly defined for the 50 years prior. If you want to name this performance art, then name it performance art. But do not go under the banner of professional wrestling because this is not professional wrestling. These are a bunch of young guys, middle-aged guys, whatever, who grew up on video games, who grew up on Meltzer's newsletter, and they're doing all these ridiculous things inside of a ring that nobody would ever do, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why? To get over with Meltzer, to get over with the crowd, and to get over with the locker room. That is why they are doing this, and that is why casual fans do not watch anymore. And bro, you can keep coming up with excuse after excuse after excuse. We just went through the excuse phase of the World Series and Monday Night Football. Then we're going to get into the excuse range of, okay, it's the holidays. Then we're going to get in, then it's the NBA excuse. Then it's the NBA NHL playoff excuse. Then it's the back to school excuse. It seems like all year long, there is a excuse of why nobody's watching wrestling anymore. When the reality of the situation is nobody's watching wrestling anymore from a casual viewpoint, because it's not wrestling. This is not wrestling. This is not the wrestling they once enjoyed. Bro, I'm going to throw something just as logical as possible at you. If the end game and the goal of every wrestling match is to pin your opponent in the middle of that ring, then why on every wrestling show are there 20 dives to the outside of the ring? Think about the logic in this. It's this simple, bro. You've got to pin your opponent inside the ring. Now you're diving to the outside of the ring. So now you are just as much in jeopardy as getting yourself hurt as you are of hurting your opponent. So now you're jumping to the outside of the ring. You have to hope that you don't get hurt. Then, if the move actually lands, now you got to pick up the dead carcass of your opponent, pick up his big fat ass, roll it into the ring, and attempt to get a 3 count. Do you know how illogical that is, bro? That is illogical. You got to win the match in the middle of the ring. But yet these performance artists, 15 times a show, 15 times a show, we're jumping through the ropes, we're jumping from the top rope, we're jumping over the ropes to the outside of the ring. Think about that, bro. Think about the illogic nature of that. Then nobody sells anything, bro. These performance artists are hitting each other with the kitchen sink, bro. But nothing can defeat your opponent. And then, bro, once you hit your opponent with every Japanese move under the sun, what does he do? He kicks out. And you got the casual viewer sitting at home watching this and saying, man, this is absolute bullshit. After he hit him with all these moves on the count of 2, the dead guy's going to kick out. Really? And then what happens, bro, is now they don't believe it. Now it is fake, and now you are insulting their intelligence. And that's what I saw when I watched AEW for 30 minutes last night. My intelligence was getting insulted. Nobody would ever do that. Nobody would ever kick out of that. There is no logic to that. Why aren't you trying to win your match? And again, 3 reasons. Trying to impress Dave Meltzer. Hopefully he'll give you 5 stars. And then once he gives you 5 stars, you can give him locker room dirt. Number 2, trying to impress the marks in the crowd. Maybe you'll get a "this is awesome" chant. How about that? Or number 3, man, you can ass slap each other in the locker room, bro, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get over with each other, and it is as clear as day, and you have lost the entire casual wrestling mark audience, and you are never, ever, ever going to get them back, because this is not wrestling. It's plain and simple. Like I said, man, you want to call it performance art, call it performance art. This is not wrestling. And bro, think about it. As a professional wrestler, you've got a window, bro. You've got a window of how long you can make money. Because, bro, the human body can only take so much. And as the great Stevie Richards said, man, every time you have a match, you keep clicking that bump card. There's another bump. There's another bump. There's another bump. There are so many bumps on a bump card on a card. So wrestlers knew we have a window. And we've got to try to stay healthy during that window because we've got to make as much money as we possibly can because we are not going to be able to do this forever. Our bodies are not going to hold up. We can only suffer so many concussions. So they would be aware of that with every match. And what would they do, bro? They would protect themselves and they would protect their opponents, bro. It was a work and they were working together. And a priority in the work was their health so they could work longer and make more money. And what do you see today, bro? They're going out doing all this crazy shit that nobody cares about except the audience they already have. And what is happening, bro? They keep getting hurt and they're out and they're hurt and they're out and they're hurt and they're out and they're hurt and they're out. And guess what, bro? The more you get hurt, the less capable you are going to be to earn money for you and to earn money for your family. Because the more you get hurt, now I can't perform, now I can't go out there and earn a living, and now I am shortening and shortening and shortening my career. Does any of this make any sense to anybody? And again, why? So we can pop the Marks, so we can pop Meltzer, so we can pop each other in the back. Do you know how idiotic this is? Do you know how stupidly insane this is? As a professional, to conduct yourself in this manner? As a professional, the number one priority should be making a living, earning as much money as I possibly can. That is the number one priority. But yet, you're working for this is awesome chance from overweight men and women in black shirts with a gargantuan armpit stain under their arm. This is what you're working towards. This is awesome chant. When they're saying this is awesome, bro, they are telling you we don't believe any of the shit that you're doing. We just think the stuff looks really cool. That's what they're telling you, bro. And that's what you want. That's what you want. You don't care if there's a story. You don't care if it's believable. You don't care if anybody is selling. You don't care if anybody's trying to win the match. You just care that the marks in the audience think that what you're doing is cool. Do you know how sad that is, bro? You need that love from the audience that badly, bro, that you are throwing everything wrestling used to be and used to represent out the window so you could get this is awesome chance, so you could be hurt by the end of the match and be out for the next 3 months, rather than be a professional, that what you're seeing is actually real. Suspend the disbelief. That's a pro. You are a pro, bro, when you are sucking me into a match and I am believing what I'm seeing. You are not a pro when I am looking at this 3-ring circus and I am saying, this is absolutely bullshit. I don't believe any of this. None of this is real. Nobody would ever do that. That's not a pro, bro. That's not a pro. That's a mark. I'm watching a mark in the ring. They're acting like marks in the ring. Bro, I'll give you a perfect example. I was watching Raw this past week, and Seth Rollins is in the ring against J.D. McDonough. And you've got Wade Barrett on commentary. Barrett must have sold at least 5 or 6 times the back issues of Seth Rollins. Meanwhile, in the ring, McDonough and Rollins are doing all these moves, getting all their shit in. And guess what, bro? Not on one occasion did Seth Rollins sell his back. So you've got the commentator selling Seth's back, but you've got the performer himself so consumed with getting his shit in that for one time he does not sell his back at all. And then the standards of a Dave Meltzer, Seth Rollins is a great worker. Seth Rollins is a great worker when I'm supposed to believe this dude is a bump away from a career-ending injury and he's not selling anything. That's a great worker. No, bro, that's a bad worker. Now, Seth Rollins may be a great athlete. Seth Rollins may be a great performer. Seth Rollins is not a great worker, because there's obviously nothing wrong with his back. Nothing, bro. He's wrestling this match and he's as fresh as a daisy. That is not a great worker. I don't even think wrestlers today understand what it means to be a great worker. What it means to be a great worker is you are working me into believing what I'm seeing. That's a great worker. If I'm sitting there and I'm knowing you guys are choreographing these moves all day long before the match starts, then you're walking around in the back and this is what you're doing. Up. Yeah, boop, 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 boop. You know how many times I saw that, bro? You know how many times towards the end of my career I would see the younger wrestlers walking around the back doing this. Because they're memorizing their spots. They are memorizing their spots, bro. And once you're memorizing your spots, you can throw your character out the window. You can absolutely throw your character out the window because you can't be in your character and remember all the spots at the same time. That's way too much. That's way too much. So all we're going to do, bro, is remember our spots. Then what do you have, bro? You got a bunch of guys doing this in the back, boop, 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 beep, bop, bop, boop, 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 remembering their spots. And all you have is a show of wrestlers, bro, all trying to remember their spots. And you know what, bro? When the show is over, we don't believe one of those spots. Not one of them. Not only do we not believe them, we don't remember them. You guys did the same damn thing in every single match. We saw every move in every single match, bro, from the first match to the last match. It's repeat over and over and over. How many times on Raw, bro, are we going to use the announce table? How many times are we going to use the announce table? So what are you doing? You're making us numb to this. We've seen it all. You've done it all, bro. We've seen the 12 super kicks and the guy kicks out. We've seen it all. So what do you have to do, bro? Now you got to up your game, and you keep upping your game. And now you're doing dangerous stunts. Dangerous stunts. And bro, when are you rehearsing these dangerous stunts? You're rehearsing them, bro, literally 2 hours before the show starts. That's when you're rehearsing these dangerous stunts. Then you go out there, bro, and listen, we got to get over with Meltzer, bro. We got to outdo the match before us. So now we're going to raise the bar and do a match that is even more dangerous. And we're going to keep our fingers crossed, and we're going to hope and pray that we just don't get hurt. And you know what, bro? Here's the bottom line. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody gives a shit, bro. Raw just drew under 1.4 million viewers. Bro, TNA was drawing 2 million viewers. TNA on Spike was doing 2 million viewers. Raw just drew 1.3 because you know why, bro? Nobody cares. And bro, you can talk about your Monday Night Football. You could talk about your World Series games. And you know what, bro? You can go back in history, bro. Go back to the Attitude Era, man. And during the Attitude Era, the NFL, the World Series were drawing the same numbers that they're drawing today, but Raw was also drawing a number. We were competing with them because we had a product that the audience believed in. Any casual fan, bro, and I am a casual fan. Trust me, bro. I only watch this shit when I get paid to watch it because as far as I'm concerned, my time is valuable. So if you want me to watch what you're trying to sell me, then it has to be worthy of my time. If it's not worthy of my time, I'm not going to watch it. Today's wrestling product is not worthy of my time, and it is obviously not worthy of the time of the millions of casual fans that you have lost. And here's the bottom line, bro. You can go out there and do whatever the hell you want to do, bro. Walk around the back, boop, 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 like jackasses. I could give two shits. It doesn't affect me whatsoever. As I said, I am in the Vince Russo business. I'm not in the wrestling business, bro. I am a critic. I am in the Vince Russo business. So guess what? If wrestling disappeared tomorrow, there would still be a Vince Russo business. Trust me, bro. I got a million things I could talk about. But the bottom line is, I don't give a shit what you do, bro. But when are you going to understand nobody else gives a shit either? Look at these numbers week after week after week. Nobody cares. The only people that cared are the wrestling marks who will watch wrestling no matter what. As long as wrestling is part of the marquee, they are going to watch wrestling. That's it. That's who's watching your show. So for all of this performance art, all of this lack of making us believe, all of this flip-flop and flying, all of this 5-star bullshit, all of this getting your shit in, nobody cares. And my question is, the WWE is now under 1.4 million viewers. Bro, what do we have to get down to? Like seriously, like what is the magic number a million? Trips, I'm talking to you. TK, I'm talking to you. Well, TK isn't even at a million. Holy crap, TK would kill for a million viewers. Trips, what do we got to do, bro? We got to get down to a million till we realize nobody cares about this shit. Nobody believes this shit. Nobody is making us suspend our disbelief. We don't believe any of this. This would never happen in real life. What is the magic number? 1 million viewers? Like I said, bro, you could hate me. You could despise me. You could call me every name in the book. I could give two shits, bro. All I know is I am seeing incredible shrinking numbers every week. And I'm talking about television viewers. I'm not talking about your Saudi deals or your streaming deals. I'm talking about television viewers, because I am going to throw right back in your face what your fearless leader said to me, Vince McMahon. He said to me, Vince, if it's good, they'll watch it. And guys, if they're not watching, that means it's not good. And that's all I have to say about that. Guys, you get this every single day. russosbrand.com. You get the truth, bro. I don't need to kiss anybody's ass at my age. I've done way too much. Check out russosbrand.com. Also, guys, we started a new Patreon platforms. We've added some new shows I think you guys are going to love. We've got the Tony Khan, Dave Meltzer, hour-long extravaganza, bro. Check it out, the Dave Meltzer, Tony Khan show. Check that out, bro. Patreon.com/Russo TWC. I am out, but I sure as hell will be back next week.